Hey there guys, today we will be looking at Copperhead's Citraddicted. So this is their brand new double dry hopped IPA just released yesterday. Today is Monday the 2nd, came out on the 1st. Yeah, and as I mentioned, so single hop, I believe it's a single hop, or it's just single dry hop, excuse me. Or the dry hopping is just Citra, excuse me. But it has a little description on the back. Yeah, it's brewed with and dry hopped twice with only Citra hops. So yeah, there you go, single hop Citra. 6.9% alcohol by volume. Actually comes in at 86 IBU. I gotta be honest, I didn't pick that up yesterday having it on draft. We'll see how the can is. But before I get into that, yeah. So it also, the tickets that I got came with the Citraddicted Teku here. That's pretty cool. It's one of the smaller size Tekus. It's something that would be the same size as like the Brash first anniversary. So if anyone's, I guess, interested in seeking it out, expect that size. I like that size. I think for bottle shares a little bit more if I want to bring something like that. A little bit smaller than the larger size Teku. For those, the larger size I do enjoy on my own if I'm opening up cans and stuff. So I think it's a little bit just a bit smaller than fitting the full can. Not quite there, but close. So, but anyway, let's get into it. Copperhead's up in Conroe. It was my first time going there yesterday, and it's a cool little brewery. A little bit different than some of the other guys out there. I'm not really sure what the history was on it, but it kind of reminded me a bit of like a renovated, or I guess refurbished, I don't know, like a restaurant or something, like a Mexican restaurant. Which could be, but that's kind of what it reminded me of. Had a cool outdoor area, a bunch of games and stuff. So anyway, let's check it out. So pours out this pretty golden color, hazy but not incredibly turbid or anything. Actually, the draft pours that I got were a lot hazier than this, so maybe some of the yeast has settled, or maybe it was just the bottom of the keg. But it's got this really light golden, almost getting towards like a straw color, and nice little fluffy white head. So check out the aroma on this guy. So definitely a lot of citrus, and it has some dankness to it as well. Picking up a bit of a man, it's escaping me right now. It kind of has hints of that, not in a bad way. I'm gonna say sort of that oniony garlic kind of vegetal dankness, not in a bad way, not quite that far. I used to pick up that a lot off of like Stone and Joy By. It's a little bit of that. So navel orange, guava, maybe some passion fruit as well. Definitely guava, passion fruit, navel orange, I think, are probably the predominant aromas that I'm getting off of this. I usually get mango pretty heavy from Citra. There's a bit there. No, there's a bit there. But I feel like the guava and the passion fruit are kind of sticking out to me the most right now. So pour a little bit more in here and check it out. Cheers. So right off the bat, yeah, definitely all the flavors are pretty much hitting with the aroma. Definitely has a big citrus character, that orange more so I think than a grapefruit, or maybe something more along lines of like pomelo. Passion fruit, guava, definitely getting all of that. Still getting that pretty intense, or maybe not incredibly intense, but more so than a lot of other New England IPAs, that kind of somewhat vegetal, earthy dankness definitely comes through on the taste as well. It I'm getting a bit different of a character off this can, honestly, compared to what I had on draft. Draft was a bit more tropical, a bit more like orange juice, and I'm not getting quite that here. Still getting some of those tropical flavors, but not as juicy. So Right now, I'm not sure that if it's the can or if it's the fact that it was bottom of the keg that I was getting that was a bit different. But definitely there's some differences here than having it from draft. And so I guess as I open up more cans, I'll see if maybe some are a bit more towards what I had on draft. This one's definitely a little bit different. It reminds me a little bit closer to if you had Looking Good Berry, something closer to that. Not quite as similar, but more of that kind of cleaner, like bright citrus and tropical fruit, but not as much of that really kind of juicy, big tropical character. The bitterness, though, 86 IBUs, I'm not getting it at all. Really, really restrained, very low bitterness, which I think is fantastic for this, for sure. Carbonation is pretty spot on for the style. Not quite super soft, but I would say somewhere along the lines of Trillium, but maybe with a just slightly lesser body. So maybe I'm looking more towards like a medium instead of more of like a fuller body, but it's close. Picking a bit of that kind of doughy, yeasty character as well that you get a lot from the style. It reminds me of you of some other things too. Maybe some of the better pint house beers, or maybe some of the better New England, older New England, style beers. Sort of in that vein of like maybe a Focal Banger or a Heady Topper. Not quite the same characteristics, but in that sort of style with that kind of cleaner citrus, still tropical, but not as much of that juicy tropical fruit character that you get off of not only Treehouse or Trillium, but locally things like Operation Juice Drop, Houston Haze, the recent batch and previous batches, not batch 5, Baba, things like that are a little bit more towards that really juicy tropical, super hazy, type of what you would expect from things like Trillium Treehouse from those guys.
Hey there, guys.
A little bit
diff. And we will be looking at.
Okay, well, guess my phone just wants to play my videos on itself. But anyway, yeah. So, like I said, though, draft really reminded me more so of that. I got a big orange juice character, a lot more tropical, so a little bit different here. Kind of a bit surprised the cans are a bit different. Hey, I mean, it could be the can. Sometimes it happens, but I guess as I go through more cans, we'll see. Maybe if I pull out some that are a little bit different, or you guys comment if you had some yourself that are a bit closer to draft. You got to try it on draft, or more so what I'm describing. Put it in the comments and let me know. But for this can as it is, I'm gonna go a pretty solid 4.5. Honestly, still fantastic. Really easy drinking. I feel like for I don't know, the 86 IBUs. Sometimes that's kind of comes into, well, it's got a bit more of a sweetness to it. It's a bit more perceptive, I guess. It's not perceived as 86. But I don't really find this beer to be too sweet. Honestly, finishes off nice and dry. So I don't know. I put IBUs a lot closer to, I don't know, maybe 10, to be honest. But that's pretty much it for Citraddicted for this can. So, as always, cheers. I will catch you guys later.